Good evening and welcome to Face to Face. Tonight, we continue with our segment on Christian creatives, and we have invited mother and daughter duo Ty and Taraji Osgood to join us and share how they meld artistic ability and an entrepreneurial mindset to take the online world by storm. So Ty and Taraji, thank you so much for coming on the program. I'm so glad to be having this conversation with you, mother-daughter duo, creative duo, business partners duo. So tell me a little bit, Ty, how that came about. I know you've got several ventures, and we're going to get to that. But I first want to ask you about your collaboration with Taraji.
My Taraji. So I've had a t-shirt business for years, and I've changed the name over the years. So the last name was Positive Mugs and Things. And I'm really big on positivity. So a lot of my products will have positive sayings and images and things on it. And I wanted to do something that I connected to that, but something that was fun and that I was really passionate about. And I was like, you know, me and Taraji, we're both natural. You know, we really love the Black girl movement. And I thought it would be great to team up with my daughter and do like a natural hair, you know, representing natural hair and melanin skin, and taking her artwork and combining it with my words. It would be awesome. So she was like, yeah, let's do it. So I changed the name again to Hello Curls, and yeah, we just started creating stuff.
Yeah,
And it's been fun.
that's great. Something that I wanted to that you just said regarding, you know, changing the names, because certainly for a lot of creatives and people who may be watching, right? You can start a business and call it one thing, and there are many iterations of a business, right, that may happen until you get to that right thing, right? Something that you were passionate about and something that you could collaborate with Taraji on. Yes. So, yeah, tell us about that, because as you were, you know, sort of thinking about, you know, you love positivity and positive messages. You know, what were some of the other things that you were thinking about as you were kind of trying to fix on that right specific name for your business?
When you're born with your natural hair. And when I was in my late teens, I was frustrated because I was always going to the hair salon to get like a press and curl. And then it would rain and my hair would pop, you know, puff up.
I don't know anything about that.
You don't know nothing about that, Giovanni. And so I saw that a lot of the girls were getting perms, and their hair was long and straight, and they didn't really have to worry about, you know, the hair poofing up. So I went and got a perm. And I loved it, you know, the hair was long. And, you know, I always wore it just straight and long for years. And up until maybe 2010 or something like that, I got my, what do you call it? A touch-up. You know, to touch up the roots because they start getting a little kinky. So I went and got a touch up, and my hair was already starting to thin and look a little raggedy, you know, raggedy. But after I got that last touch up, like a chunk of my hair fell out. And, you know, women, you know, our hair is everything. And I realized, okay, I can't do the perms anymore. I gotta find another option for my hair. my mother has locks. So she was like, why don't you lock it up? And I'm like, no, I don't want to lock it up because I like to have fun with my hair. And so I was searching YouTube and I just came across this natural hair community. And I was like, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. I wanna try this. So I transitioned for a little bit. So I had the kinky and the straight hair, and I was tired of that. Just watching those videos, I was like, I'm gonna cut my hair. And I did. I had about 5 inches of natural hair. Hello, curls. There you are. It's
Yeah.
been years
Yeah.
since I've seen you. So that was the concept,
Yeah.
how we came up with the name Hello Curls.
And I don't want to get off on a discussion on curly hair because there's so much that we could say, right?
I know.
You know, growing up as women of color and, you know, sort of being subjected to straightening our hair because that is what beauty, or it's considered beautiful.
Yes.
And it puts a lot of pressure, right? And even like you as a mom with your daughter, right? Trying to, you know, straighten her hair because that is what supposedly,
Yes.
you know, good hair, right?
Right.
To give us good hair.
Right.
And so I went through that myself in terms of like perming. And so same growth thing, you know, you got to grow it out and half it's is straight and half is curly.
Right, it's crazy.
And so I'm so glad that, you know, you went natural, I went natural. Hopefully you guys out there will go natural if you are perming your hair, because not only that, but I recently read that those straighteners actually cause a lot of damage to a woman's organs, to their reproductive organs, I mean, all kinds of issues to women. So get off of the relaxers, ladies.
Yes, yes. So hence Hello
Just-
Curls, representing
Curls, amen.
natural hair, embracing your natural hair.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So tell me, Taraji, what your contribution is, because I know you are a student. Where are you at school right now?
Mass art.
Mass art. And what are you studying at Mass art?
Illustration.
Illustrations. What would you like to do eventually with that degree?
I mean, I'm really interested in like doing like comic books or like graphic novels. I don't know. I like designing like characters and things like that. So hopefully like somewhere in that direction.
Okay. And so how do you partner with your mom in her business of Hello Curls? What are some of the things that you do with her?
So I mainly do the art. Like, you know, I'll draw like cute black girls or whatever. I'll do like, you know, cute faces and like the hair poofy, different like black hairstyles.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Now, was art something that you were always interested in?
Yes. I have drawings like all the way back from when I was 4 years old, like on the wall in the kitchen.
Yes.
So yeah, drawing has just been always something that's a part of me.
So how did your mom, I mean, I'm assuming you grew up watching your mom, you know, being creative. Was there any influence from your mom into you sort of pursuing that? Or do you think it was more like you really wanted to do something like this?
Yeah, I do feel like it was just always something that's like inside of me that just made me like, oh, I love art. I want to, you know, learn more, be a better artist. But I mean, I did like see her like making her t-shirts and stuff growing up, selling them and stuff. And I was like, oh, like that would be cool to do something when I grow up, you know?
Awesome. Now, Ty, let's talk about Hello Curls, kind of the business side of things, right? So it went through several iterations, kind of, you know, trying to make it in a creative, you know, art, or trying to make a living from a creative pursuit. You know, what has that journey been like, you know, for you? And what are the things that you've had to do? Obviously, you know, you've changed names of your business, and you are currently on Etsy, correct? But what are some of the other things that you've had to do as you have progressed, right, toward kind of the Etsy marketplace? What were some of the other things that you did to try to get your products, you know, out there and seen and sold, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously we do these things because we would like to make money.
We would, exactly. Well, you know, right now I work a 9 to 5. But having a business, if you want to grow your business, you really have to put a lot of work into it. And so I can say when I am, marketing it and getting myself out there, maybe as a vendor, it does well. People like it. But if you don't do those things, it doesn't really grow the way that you want to. So I'm still, trying to be consistent with it. If I'm just keeping it real, it's hard, to find the time because you have so many other
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
that you are obligated to. But definitely, if you have a business, marketing is so important. Getting yourself out there on social media, taking out ads, getting out there if you can as a vendor so that people can actually, tangibly see your products. Yeah.
And so, what are some of the things that are there places specifically that you have gone to sell your products?
Yeah, there will be events. I haven't been a vendor in a year or two,
Okay.
but there's always vending events. You'll see them online, word of mouth. Actually, my mother just called me the other day and said that there was an opportunity at one of the theaters in Boston, and it would have been perfect. But again, I wasn't ready. You have to have your products and stuff with you, and I didn't have enough time to get that together. So yeah, there's always opportunities to, be a part of a vending event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, talk to us about, having to make a living and work, full time while at the same time being an artist, right? And many people may sympathize or empathize with that reality, right? Because it takes time to grow a business. It takes time to get these things off the ground. There's a lot of work that goes into it.
Yes.
Do you have a specific, discipline around your business, right? I mean, sometimes, for example, some business people will say, okay, this block of time is when I'll spend, doing this, or this other block of time is when I'll spend doing that other thing. Help the audience out there who's looking for maybe tips, maybe ideas, how they can work around trying to, sell their products in the
or
marketplace.
create. Yeah. I would block out time. I go into my room and I close the door and I say, I'm going to work on this, for an hour. But I have to tell you, once you get into that creative mode, it goes beyond an hour. And I mean,
Way beyond, like, you can't just do it for 1 hour.
right. It's like all night long.
Yes.
And I might be consistent with that for a few days. And so with the Etsy, it's about putting up listings. And so I will, take that time and I will create maybe 2 or 3 listings because that in itself takes time. The SEO, the pictures, everything has to look good, look right. And so, once I have a couple of listings up, then I'm kind of off to the next thing. But it is important to take time or carve out a little bit of time to, focus on your business. If it's an hour a day, on the weekends, because I know, some people that work 9 to 5, they're exhausted when they get off work. And that's supposed to be the time that you start your part-time job, which is your business, working on that. And you just have to be dedicated and have in your mind that this is what I'm going to do. But it's hard. If I'm just gonna keep it real.
Yeah,
It's hard.
Yeah. No, I mean, definitely. But Taraji, you were agreeing with your mom about when you get in the flow. I think that's the
Yes.
term of of creating and doing your art. Is there anything specifically that you were thinking about as your mom was talking? Is there something you're working on right now?
Yeah, so I'm kind of starting my own entrepreneurship business, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually like kind of just started last night. I was I was trying to like put some listings up and stuff, and it literally like I started at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't finish till like 8, 9 at night. It was just a lot, and I was working on one. It was one listing. I like, and all that time I only got one listing done.
Yes.
So I'm just like, yes, it's so much work. Just
So what is a listing for someone who is not familiar? If people aren't familiar, what is a listing?
it's like actually, Mom, I feel like you can explain this better because you've been doing it longer.
So, like if you go to Etsy and you're looking for, I'm looking for, you put in search engine natural hair shirt.
Okay.
So all of these shirts will pop up.
Okay.
They call listings.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
And you want your listing to pop.
Right.
And this is actually one of our most popular t-shirts. It pops.
Nice.
It comes up sometimes on the first page.
That's where you want it.
Yes.
The first
Yes.
page is
Yeah.
where you want your listing.
in Etsy. So yeah, that's a listing.
Okay. So I'm assuming, because I've been on Etsy, and it's a very competitive
Yes.
marketplace. I mean, there are a lot of vendors, a lot of people on Etsy.
Yes.
And there are probably people selling, T-shirts with positive messages and other kinds of things.
Yes.
Have you found that for yourself, that is the best place to sell your products?
Yes.
Okay.
For me, a lot of people will say, Shopify, you can build your own store and everything.
Gotcha.
And it is Shopify. It's cool. I tried it, but I think with Etsy, they take care of everything. Like even like taxes and things like that.
Okay.
If you do like Shopify, you have to kind of figure all that stuff out at the end of the year. But Etsy will give you I think it's a 1099.
Yeah.
They take care of that for you.
Okay.
Also with Etsy, they already have their customer base.
Right.
Whereas if you go to Shopify, you have to drive people
to your site.
to that site
Okay.
and
Okay.
the ads and all of that. Whereas Etsy, it already has people coming there already knowing what it is that they want.
Okay.
So I like.
Yeah. And this is really helpful, for people to know the differences between Etsy and Shopify. And there are probably others out there. But, since we're kind of talking about different, shops where you can have your products, because I know Amazon too sells small business products. And I didn't know if that was potentially one of the places where you had considered, either of you had considered you're starting your business
never thought about that, yeah.
now, and you've had your business going for a while. If that is a place where you've thought about,
I have thought about it.
yeah.
I have, but I said I want to get this Etsy thing down packed first, and then I'll move on to Amazon. But yeah, I have thought about it.
Okay. All right. So, Taraji,
Yes.
you are an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You are starting your own business. This is your first business venture?
I mean, like, I've had, like, little businesses, like, not, like, official or whatever when I was a kid, but, like, this is, like, my, like, first, like, official business.
Okay. What led you to start your own business?
Honestly, I don't know. I guess I just kind of wanted to have my own, like, niche or whatever, create things that I like and that I think, like, other people around me will like, kind of just, share with others.
Yeah, yeah. Is that sort of the similar reason why you started your own business, or share with us why the need to kind of have something that you've produced?
Yeah. I think it's just that creative nature in me. And I'm just gonna be real. I'm just not a 9 to 5 girl. Even though I
Yeah.
have to work a 9 to 5, I want to create.
Yeah.
I want to be independent. I want to write. I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was like, I want to have my own business.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
And that's frequently, right, why a lot of creatives, right, start to create and try to get their business out there eventually with the idea that, right, that this thing is going to support them
Yeah.
full time.
Yes.
Right?
You want to be your own boss.
You want to
Yes.
be your own
Exactly.
boss.
Right.
You want to call the shots. You want to kind of create something that you think the public will like, and get your name out there and be known for that thing,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
enjoy it. I mean, I think it's a lot about enjoyment. Not that 9 to 5s are they're good. It's good to have a job.
Right. It's good to have a job. It'll help you support the business, growing the business.
We all have to work.
Right.
But yeah, there's something about creating. And as we are talking about creating, there was I've been talking to other creatives
Yeah.
in this show. We're doing a segment on Christian creatives.
Yeah.
And the verse that I've used to kind of frame the entire conversation with all the creatives that I'm speaking with, is Ephesians 2:10, that talks about God, that we are His workmanship, and that He created works for us to do beforehand. And so this idea that God created us to create.
Yes.
And so do you feel that as you are creating, as you are thinking up of ideas and planning maybe a new product that you want to put into your line, do you feel kind of God's hand or God's creativity sort of flowing to you as you're navigating and thinking about what you want to do for your shop?
Yeah. I mean, with this particular area that He's given me to create, and with words and things like that, you'll get an idea, and then you sit at the computer and you play around with the words and the colors, and like I said earlier, it will go on for hours. That's how I know that this is God. It's fun. I love it. This is what He's called me and created me to do. And that scripture is amazing, that God has given us some creativity and purpose before we were even born. And so then here we are. And, if you don't know what your purpose is, go to the Creator, and He will tell you and show you what your purpose is. Whatever it is that He's purposed for you, it's gonna come to pass, because He created you to do that thing. So yeah.
Awesome. Taraji, what has been, 2 questions. What has been the hardest thing about setting out as an entrepreneur? And then what would you say is the easiest thing of setting out as an entrepreneur?
Well, I'll start with the easiest thing. I feel like it's easier to find time to do it because, like, I'm not in school right now. I'm just, I'm working, then like the rest of the time I'm just at home or like whatever. So I think the easiest part right now is having time to do it. The hardest part, maybe like coming up with like ideas for new content. Like I do have like older drawings that I've created, but I'm like, eventually I'm gonna need like some new stuff. And trying to like think of things and just think of like, what would the people who are like buying my stuff, like what would they want?
Yeah.
So I think that would be the hardest part.
Yeah. So are you planning to put your illustrations on products, or are you just selling the illustrations themselves?
Selling the illustration themselves and putting them on
Okay.
products. Like I'll sell like prints and canvases, and maybe like put it on like a bag or like a mug or whatever.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. I know that your business isn't the only thing that you have done, isn't the only way in which you are creative.
Yeah.
And you are also a writer.
Yes. Yes.
So tell us about that. Tell us about your writing.
So I've written 2 books, Confessions of a Praying Woman and 7 questions about the prophetic power of dreams and visions. Yeah, writing comes natural for me. I've known ever since I was little. I think I've shared this story before, that when I was 7, I kept a diary, but it was an orange notebook. And I loved to write in that book. And eventually it led to like songwriting, because, you know, I sing. So songwriting, and then I figured out I could sing. But along the years, I've always kept a journal. And so I love to write. And, you know, walking with God, you experience different things in your life, and you can't keep it to yourself. And I'm like, I'm going to write. I'm going to write about my experiences, and hopefully someone else will be blessed by it. They'll be able to relate and connect. So, yeah. Yeah, I write.
Awesome. Taraji, do you write?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Not like I haven't like made any books or anything like my mom has, but like in my free time, I like to like write little things or like poems or whatever.
Awesome. So it sounds like there's a lot of commonalities here in the creative spirit that moves in your family.
Yes.
has landed on each of you. And there's something else in addition that you do. You have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Tell us about the channel and what kinds of things you have on the channel, or you put up on your channel.
Yeah. So, you know, I know, you know, so many people are on YouTube, and but really I felt like the Lord was calling me to YouTube for a long time. And so I was obedient, and I started the page, but it just sat for a long time. And then there would just be this nudge to you know, get on YouTube and teach. And so again, you know, the Lord has allowed me to experience some things in my life, and I teach what I lived.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much what the channel is about, me teaching on different topics that the Lord has put in my heart and has allowed me to experience. So, yeah. It's...
Well, that's one of the great things about, you know, being creative, that when, you know, God, right, gives us this kind of creative spirit or creative bent, oftentimes, you know, we're not limited to just one thing, right? It expresses itself in so many different ways.
Yes.
So that, you know, your YouTube channel and your writing, and then you've got, you know, your business with your daughter.
Yeah.
And so it's really beautiful because God isn't limited to just one thing, right? I mean, the
Yes.
creator of the universe, he created, you know, the little worm, and he created the the heavens.
Right.
Right? Like, so many ways in which God expresses his creative spirit.
Yes.
And so, you know, it's just beautiful that we as his creation get to do so many different things, right? Taraji, so there may be a young person, you know, watching who, you know, is looking at you and thinking, wow, she's starting her own business. Is there anything you would like to, you know, to say to someone, you know, watching, you know, any tips, any lessons that you've learned as you've been, working, trying to, to do this? Anything that you could teach, someone watching who's like, I want to do that. I want to be an entrepreneur.
I guess I would just say, like, even if you're like not sure about it, like at least try, like at least start. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to know exactly what you're doing. I say, just give it a go. You can do it. Yeah, and you'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now, how about you, Ty? Anything that you want to, any tips, any lessons that you've learned along the way as you've been, working on your business and trying to get your products out there, something that would be helpful for the audience?
I agree with Taraji. Do it because you don't want to regret. I shoulda, I coulda, woulda. If there's something that is in your heart that you feel like I want to do this. I want to, create this. I want to try. Just do it. Do it. Research. YouTube is my best friend. If you want information about things, you can go to YouTube. Or if there's someone that is doing something that you want to do, go and ask. Ask questions. But just step out in faith and do it. And God will meet you. He will meet you. But first you got to take that step. There's this quote, I can't think of the man's name, but he says, God is a show me God. Show me that this is something that you want to do. Take that first step and then I'll meet you. I'll meet you there. I won't leave you hanging.
Amen. And I think we'll end it there. So if you want God to help you in your business, you need to take those first steps of faith.
Yes.
That's what you're saying, right?
Absolutely.
Amen. Amen.
Absolutely.
Ty, thank you so much for coming on the program. Taraji, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And I pray a wonderful fall semester and success with your business.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both.
Yes.
Thank you both. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time.